Have you ever stopped to think about what actually makes a car go or a ball fly to the air? We throw around words like energy and force all the time, but they're not the same thing at all. So today we're going to pull back the curtain and find out the simple secret behind pretty much every single movement you see.
Let's start with a really simple picture. Imagine a ball just sitting there, perfectly still at the very top of a hill. It's not moving, but you just know it could. It holds this silent promise of motion. We're going to follow its journey, and by the end, we'll have figured out two of the most important ideas in all of physics. So, what is that promise of motion? Well, before that ball can even think about rolling, it needs the potential to roll. And that potential, which is basically the fuel for all motion, is our first big idea: energy.
What even is energy, though? The simplest way to think about it is this. It's not the motion itself, but it's the ability to make something happen. It's the capacity to cause a change, or as physicists say, to do work.
Okay, so back to our ball at the top of the hill. It is just loaded with this stuff. It's called potential energy. It's basically stored up power, and the ball has it just because of where it is, high up with gravity ready to pull it down.
It's really the energy of what if, you know? The book isn't falling yet. The rubber band isn't snapping yet. But they could. All this stored energy is just sitting there, waiting for a reason to get going.
And this, of course, is where it gets interesting. What happens when we give that ball just a tiny little nudge? It starts to roll, and all that potential, all that stored up power starts to change into something totally different.
Which brings us to the second phase of energy, kinetic energy. And you know what? The definition is refreshingly simple. If something is moving, it has kinetic energy. That's it, plain and simple.
So yeah, the rolling ball, water flowing in a river, a car driving down the road, they all have kinetic energy. And the big idea here is all about speed. The faster something moves, the more kinetic energy it's got. So let's just put these side by side for a second. Potential energy is all about its position. It's stored up. It's waiting. Kinetic energy is all about motion. It's active. It's happening right now. One is the before, and the other is the during. And this whole process shows us one of the most fundamental rules in all of physics. You can't create or destroy energy. You can only change its form. As that ball rolls downhill, it's basically making a trade. It's cashing in that potential energy it had because of its height, and it's converting it bit by bit into the kinetic energy of motion.
But wait a second. This is the big question, right? Energy is the ability to move, but something had to give it the signal. Something had to kick things off. This is the missing piece of our puzzle, and it introduces our second main character. To answer that question, we have to bring in the director of this whole operation. We're talking about force.
See, while energy is the ability to do something, force is the actual action. It's the literal push or pull that makes the change happen. It's the verb to energy's noun.
Just think about it. If an object's motion changes in any way, if it starts, stops, speeds up, slows down, or just turns, you can bet your bottom dollar of forces behind it. Okay, so we've got our two main players on the stage, right? We've got energy, which is like the fuel, and we've got force, which is the actor. So how exactly do they work together to create all the motion we see around us? Well, in our little story about the ball, there are a couple of key forces making things happen. Gravity is that constant, relentless pull that gets the ball going in the first place. And then you've got friction, which is the force between the ball and the ground that's going to eventually slow it down and bring it to a stop. And this right here, this is the big connection. This is the secret handshake between the two. Forces are the things that transfer energy. They're the mechanism that turns that potential what if into the actual reality of what is. That's it, right there. That's the whole story. The force of gravity was like the director that came up, tapped the ball on the shoulder, and said, "All right, potential energy, your time as a couch potato is up. It's time to become kinetic." Without that force, that push, that pull, the energy would have just stayed stored forever. Okay, let's bring it all home now. If you only remember one thing from all of this, please make it this one simple idea. And there you have it. Energy is the what. It's the potential, it's the fuel sitting in the tank. But force is the how. It's the action, the push or the pull that actually puts that fuel to work. You absolutely need both. One without the other, and nothing happens. So from now on, when you see something move, a roller coaster, a falling leaf, anything,
Challenge yourself. Look for the two parts of the story. Ask yourself, okay, where's the stored up energy here? And what's the force that's making it all happen? Once you can answer those two questions, you'll understand the story behind all motion.